today, I speak to the winner within you, not the gambler, not the warrior, not the one who clutches and strains, but the divine winner, born to claim heaven's fortune without toil or turmoil. For this life, yes, this very life is no game of dice thrown by chance. It is a divine game, governed by perfect law. And when you know the rules, when you apply the formula, when you live the truth, you cannot help but win. Not once, not sometimes, but always. Let me tell you the secret, not hidden, but overlooked. The word you speak is the ticket. Your every declaration, when made in faith, is stamped by spirit, sealed by law, and delivered by the hands of angels. Speak not what you see, speak what you seek. Say, not I hope, but I know. Say, not I lack, but I receive. Say not I fear, but I trust. The divine lottery pays out to those who refuse to fear the delay, those who praise before the win. When you are grateful for the invisible, the visible must appear. That is law, that is truth, that is your inheritance. So, cast your bread upon the waters, send forth your word, believe without blinking, praise as if the vaults of heaven have burst open, because they have. There is no competition in the realm of spirit. Your fortune is not another's loss. What is yours by divine right cannot be delayed, denied, or destroyed. It is waiting on your faith to match its glory. Do not beg the universe, command it, not with arrogance, but with authority. For you are not a beggar, you are an heir. The formula is simple. Speak the word, stand in faith, cast out fear, praise in advance, and watch the floodgates open. So I ask you today, are you ready to win by divine law? Are you ready to stop chasing pennies and start receiving miracles? Are you ready to claim your share of heaven's treasure? Then step forward, declare boldly, live joyfully, expect mightily, and receive abundantly. For this is the divine lottery winning formula, and it always works. Your word is not mere sound, nor is it a casual utterance to fill silence. Your word is creative. Fear it is the wand by which you shape your world, command, supply, and direct fortune. Every sentence you speak, every affirmation you declare, is a decree sent out into the ethers. And the law, which never sleeps, receives your word and moves to perform it. The universe is impartial, responsive, and immediate to faith-filled speech. It listens not to your wish, but to your belief. It reacts not to your need, but to your word, backed by inner conviction. Most people speak idly and wonder why their lives are filled with chaos, lack, and delay. They do not understand that every complaint plants a weed in the garden of their manifestation. Every word of fear is a spell cast toward limitation. Yet every word of faith, every affirmation spoken in spiritual authority, is a wand waved toward abundance. If you say, I can never afford that, you close the door. But say, infinite supply meets every demand, and you swing open the gates of provision. This is no superstition, no vague philosophy. This is spiritual science, governed by unchanging law. As surely as a seed grows into a tree, your words grow into circumstances. And like the skilled magician, you must wield your wand with precision, with intention, with unwavering trust. Not one idle word should be spoken about your finances, your health, your relationships, or your future. For every word either blesses or curses. It creates or it destroys. It heals or it hinders. When you align your words with truth, when you say, divine order now governs my life, or unexpected doors of prosperity fly open for me, you do not merely hope for change, you activate it. The spoken word is a signal, and the universe responds with mathematical precision. You may not see the results in an instant, but rest assured, the wheels are turning. The channels are opening, the supply is finding its path. The delay is not denial. It is simply the law arranging the pieces, aligning the timing, and preparing the perfect outcome. One must also speak their word with joy, with gratitude, and with expectancy. A grim affirmation is powerless. It is not the words alone, but the spirit behind them that stirs the invisible realm. Speak as one who knows their words are law. Declare as one who holds the authority of heaven. Proclaim as one whose every word is backed by infinite intelligence. Remember this, the tongue is a tool, a transmitter, a spiritual weapon. Use it to build, not to break. Use it to call forth, not to curse. Speak health, speak wealth, speak peace, speak success. Your word is your wand, and with it, you create your kingdom. Faith is not mere hope, nor is it a wish whispered into the void. Faith is the hand that turns the key. It is the power that opens the invisible vault where every blessing, every miracle, every provision already exists. Faith does not beg, it does not bargain, it knows. It knows that what is divinely yours cannot be withheld, cannot be delayed, cannot be denied. When you walk in faith, you walk in authority. You step out of confusion and into clarity. You stop asking, how will it happen? And begin declaring, it is already done. The riches of the universe are not stored in banks, locked away by men. They are held in the unseen realm, ready to pour into the hands of the one who dares to believe without evidence. The vault of divine supply does not open with effort or striving. It opens with faith, the bold, unshakable, immovable belief that what you seek is seeking you, and what you desire is already yours in spirit. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It is not passive. It is dynamic, creative, and magnetic. Too many live in lack not because they are undeserving, but because they doubt. They believe in limitation more than in abundance. They trust fear more than truth. They make a god of circumstances and a stranger of divine principle. Yet, the soul that walks by faith moves mountains, splits seas, and calls forth the impossible. Faith is the divine connector. It joins the invisible and the visible, the desire and the demonstration. It does not consult the facts, it speaks the truth. It does not bow to appearances, it commands results. When you say, I am divinely provided for, and believe it with your whole being, unseen forces rush to meet your word. The channels open, the right people appear, the resources flow. But the key is unwavering belief. Even a mustard seed of true faith can open the vault. Worry is the lock. Faith is the key. Doubt is the delay. Belief is the release. You cannot mix faith with fear and expect results. The law is exact. What you prepare for by faith, you will receive. What you expect with joy, you will experience. To live by faith is to live in the vibration of miracles. It is to rise above the evidence of the senses and declare the authority of the Spirit. It is to walk forward even when the path is not clear, knowing the light will come when you step. It is to speak prosperity in the face of lack, to declare healing in the face of pain, to praise in the midst of delay. Faith says, I trust divine intelligence. I know that all I need is already mine. And so it is. When you unlock the vault of divine riches with faith, you no longer chase blessings, they chase you. For faith magnetizes, multiplies, and manifests all that is good, perfect, and divinely ordained. The mind is a sacred vessel, and it cannot hold two opposing thoughts at once. Where fear abides, faith cannot flourish. Where doubt reigns, divine certainty is silent. That is the law of substitution. You must cast out the unworthy thought and replace it with a truth so strong, so radiant, that it drives out every shadow. Fear is a lie dressed in logic. It masquerades as protection but is truly a thief. It steals your peace, your confidence, and your divine inheritance. You do not argue with fear. You do not entertain it, reason with it, or try to soften it. You replace it. You substitute fear with divine expectation, the bold, joyful anticipation of good. When fear says, what if it all goes wrong? Divine expectation answers, what if it all unfolds perfectly? When worry whispers, you're running out, divine expectation declares, divine supply is unlimited and flowing now. You must be ruthless with fear, for it is subtle and persistent. It comes disguised as caution, as practicality, as realism. But it is none of these. It is simply misplaced imagination. And the imagination, when consecrated to truth, becomes your greatest tool for demonstration. Your thoughts shape your world, and the law does not care whether those thoughts are filled with fear or filled with faith. It simply obeys. The law does not judge, it responds. So when you substitute a fearful thought with one of divine expectation, you redirect the entire current of your life. You reroute the energy that was spiraling downward and send it upward toward healing, prosperity, and right action. This is not mental trickery, it is spiritual mastery. You do not have to feel brave to act in faith. You simply have to choose, in that moment, to align with truth. Declare over every situation, I expect the best. I expect divine outcomes. I expect miracles. Let this expectation not be wishful, but knowing. You are not hoping for crumbs from the table. You are seated at the banquet of the infinite. Expectation is the magnet that draws forth manifestation. What you expect with conviction, you attract with power. If you catch yourself fearing the worst, stop and speak a new word. If you hear yourself rehearsing failure, stop and affirm success. This is the practice. This is the work. And over time, your mind becomes a temple of faith, and fear finds no foothold. You begin to look at challenges and expect victory. You look at delays and expect divine timing. You look at loss and expect restoration. You are not at the mercy of your thoughts, you are their master. And by choosing divine expectation over fear, you rise above limitation. You claim your authority as a creator, a commander of spiritual law. The moment fear is cast out and replaced by divine trust, the tide turns, the atmosphere shifts, the way opens, and the very thing you feared loses its power. For light has taken its place. Gratitude is more than good manners, it is spiritual alchemy. Praise is not flattery, it is power. When you give thanks before the blessing arrives, you demonstrate the highest form of faith. You say to the universe, I do not wait to see, I know it is done. This knowing opens the way. It removes resistance. It clears the channel for supply to flow swiftly and freely. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the vault of divine provision, not after the manifestation, but before. It is the proof of belief, the signal that you trust in unseen good. Many people give thanks only when they have something in their hands, but the soul who gives thanks in advance holds something greater. Unwavering confidence in spiritual law. To praise before the harvest is to water the seed with expectancy. You do not need to know how the good will come. You simply bless the coming of it. You bless the unseen. You rejoice in the invisible. You thank the infinite for what is already yours by divine right. When you shift your focus from complaint to praise, your entire world begins to shift with it. The atmosphere changes. Circumstances reorganize. People are drawn to assist you. Unexpected doors open. What once felt delayed now rushes in, carried on the wings of your joyful expectancy. Praise sends out a vibration higher than fear, higher than doubt, higher than lack. It lifts you above appearances and seats you in the consciousness of the answered prayer. Gratitude is not passive, it is creative. It multiplies what it touches. When you bless your current situation, no matter how small, you prepare the way for increase. Say, I give thanks for the money I have, and I rejoice in the wealth on its way. Say, I praise the order, harmony, and divine timing unfolding in my life now. With every word of thanksgiving, you are calling forth more to be thankful for. You are declaring to the law, I trust, I receive, I rejoice. Praise also dissolves resistance. It removes the mental and emotional blocks that delay your demonstration. When you complain, you reinforce the problem. When you worry, you energize the obstacle. But when you praise, you place your focus on the outcome, not the issue. You rise above it and allow Spirit to work without interference. Praise says, it is well, even when I do not yet see. And in that declaration, the miracle begins. So, if you seek unexpected prosperity, do not search, do not strive. Instead, stand still and give thanks. Praise before you possess. Rejoice before you receive. This is not illusion, it is the spiritual formula that has never failed. As you lift your voice in gratitude, as you fill your heart with praise, you send out the call and supply must answer. For the law cannot resist a soul that rejoices in what is yet unseen, trusting fully that it is already theirs by divine decree.